Miscellaneous minds, never explaining the minds. Devilish grin for my alias, aliens who respond. Peddling sin, thinking maybe when you get old you realize I'm not gonna fold or demise. I don't smoke crack, motherfucker, I sell it.
What is going on, everybody? This is the Miscellaneous Minds podcast. I'm your co-host, Boomer Gato, the cat that hands you your regrets back. And to my left over here is the man assistant there, the man that makes the fat stacks. Taking every from the dynamic duo that won't die. Tell the ideas, but and spice your content than your girls' only fans. What is going on, everybody? Before we get into tonight's topic, please make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit. And with that, let's get right into it. So, something that popped up on our timeline, I'm sure popped up on yours too. Tyrese, his ex-wife, has recently come out, stated that she regrets getting a divorce from him, and she gave two very distinct reasons why. Let's go ahead and get into it and talk about them. So, the first reason, she states, these are her words, she was too emotional. In the moment when her and Tyrese were going through their trauma in their relationship, when they were going through their struggles, their bumps in the road, she was stating she was too emotional to hear him out. Listen, if there's one thing that you guys, the guys that know me, the people that know me, and what you will know from this channel if you go back and you watch any videos in our catalog, the one thing you will know is that I am all about logic. Logic above everything else. Don't get me wrong, sometimes it's to my own detriment, but I believe truly in logic. So, with that being said, I don't make decisions based on emotion, and I don't think anyone should. Listen, the fact that this woman caused trauma to Tyrese, and you guys all saw the video, you guys saw the breakdown that he was having, caused trauma to herself because now she's admitting regret, and to their children. They have a couple daughters. The fact that all that was caused because of I was too emotional. Think about that concept. Think about the reality of how much damage was done to the family unit and to them moving forward because of too much emotion in one particular moment. It's bullshit. We need to stop this scenario where in a moment of weakness, in a moment of annoyance, in a moment of I'm going through whatever it is that I'm going through, I'm letting these feelings inside get to me to the point where I make such a drastic, life-changing decision for more than just one person. If it was just her and Tyrese and just she couldn't do it, okay, fine, I get it. But it's one of those scenarios where it affected her, Tyrese, and the kids. And it was to a point where, again, you guys all saw the video. You guys all made fun of it. I'll agree. I'll say, fuck, man, even I made fun of it. Where Tyrese was having that mental breakdown. And listen, a lot of you know, I worked in family law for a few years. I've helped a number of people get divorced, both men and women. I've gone through the processes, and I've seen the different things that each person goes through when they're getting, divorced. And here's the thing. By far, and I'll even give references, I'll give scenarios so you guys see that I'm not being biased. The people, the individuals that make the more emotional decisions in a divorce when it comes to children, when it comes to their own finances, so on and so forth, is definitely the women. Now, it's not always, definitely some men that are more emotional than women, but by far. Now, here's the thing. I had asked 7 different attorneys, 4 females, 3 men that I worked with, who they felt generally came with way too much emotion when it came to dealing with the reality of a case. One of those 4 female attorneys was self-identified, a feminist. All of them, all 7 of them, and I promise you, all 7 of them said, generally speaking, we have to talk women off the ledge a lot more. It's not because by any sense of the word, every attorney out here is sexist. No, it's because when these scenarios come up, these emotionally charged scenarios, generally speaking, I mean, the idea of what they want in a relationship is ending in a divorce, it's far out there. I don't want him to see the kids ever. I want all his money, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. It's not reality. We have to talk them down off the ledge into what's more than likely going to happen. Now, with that being said, the too emotional part is a position where no one should start off from. Listen, if you're going through something, you feel like you're going to punch the wall, you feel like I'm fucking done with this person, whatever you feel, go blow off some steam. Go cry for an hour. Go hit the gym at the bag. Go lift some weights. Go for a swim. Go for a walk, a run, a drive, or whatever. But chill the fuck out, because the likelihood is in about an hour, you're not going to be feeling the same way. Don't get me wrong. You might be mad for another day or so, maybe a week, whatever it is. But I guarantee you, when your emotions calm down, you'll see a lot more with clarity. And again, this goes out to both men and women. Chill the fuck out. Relax for a little bit. Focus, breathe, chill. What do you think about just that aspect, man? Just about the emotional part.
I think with the emotional aspect, I feel like women definitely do have carte blanche to be able to act on emotions a bit more. And even after the fact, they like with Samantha Gibson, that's Tyrese Gibson's wife. She was able to act emotionally, and even after the fact where she said she regrets it, open arms. She's given a 2-hour podcast. She was able to explain the entirety of, how she came to that, the mistakes that she made along the way, the fact that the entire thing was a mistake, and she admitted it was a mistake. I had people in my ear that were telling me all these things, and come to find out, I didn't like it. And the reason why I say carte blanche is because, again, she had no criticism levied about the decision itself, about her regrets in the decision, which, let's be honest, mighty fucking L. But what Tyrese Gibson did when the actual divorce was happening, in the middle of settlements, of finding out he wasn't going to see his daughter that much anymore, and the fact that he's going to be paying a whole fuckload of money on top of that. When he made that video of, what more do you want from me? That meme, that video that we were all memeing on, that very sound clip that we were memeing on, we were all making fun of him. All of us were. And we need to owe him a huge freaking apology over that. Because in essence, I remember actually watching that video, that source clip, and getting a little bit more context. And you see him crying over, like, oh, they're taking away my baby. That's heartrending. But the fact that it came from a man, a father, a dad, that in and of itself, for some reason, is funny. Happening to a mom, though? If it was coming out of a mom's words of they're taking away my baby, guarantee you, everybody would be out there with pitchforks and torches, calling for heads on pikes, saying, how dare you take away the child from the mother? If it's a dad, though, it's sad, but it's not really that big of a deal. And granted, look, the whole emotional aspect, I'm not saying men should be given license to do that. Because again, there's some things that we did criticize, and we should have criticized Tyrese Gibson for being over-emotional. Over him being over-emotional about The Rock getting more roles, especially in getting more sequels of just him, especially in regards to the Hobbs and Shaw or whatever. And Tyrese Gibson felt he was being robbed of that fact. Which, look, you're not getting robbed. It's the director's decision. It's the movie studio's decision. You don't exactly have autonomy over the entirety of where the Fast and Furious series is going to go. Tyrese Gibson was in the wrong for that. He was over emotional. We had the right to criticize him over that. The baby thing, though, yeah, we kind of flew off the handle on that. There's no debate about that. There's nothing we could have done to prevent that, but at the very least, him crying over the loss of his child, effectively, we could have eased up on him. In fact, we need to apologize to him right now, especially in regards to what Samantha Lee has been saying, in retrospect now, just recently, that the divorce thing was a mistake. The separation of a child and the father, yeah, that was a mistake. Him having to owe an absorbent amount of monies over what essentially I now regret, yeah, that was a mistake. That's what I'm bothered about it.
Listen, you lightly touched up on the second aspect of what she said. The second thing that she said is, I had people in my ear, and I have a good amount of experience in this particular subject. So, as some of you know, I myself have also been through a divorce. I was advised by a lot of her family members that certain other family members were in my ex's ear, basically telling her, hey, look, you're going to get divorced, and you should get a divorce, and a lot of these people are no longer in her life. Now, here's the reason that I have a problem with you letting people in your ear make a decision for you. They're not going to go through with you. If your best friend, your best female friend is telling you, hey, leave that man, he doesn't appreciate you, he doesn't treat you right, he's not there for you emotionally, he's not there for you mentally, blah, 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 blah. Keep in mind, that female friend, she's going to go back home. If she has a man, she's going to go back home to her man. While you're sitting there alone, crying by yourself, dealing with the BS. A divorce attorney, he wants your money. He's trying to tell you, yeah, you should probably get a divorce because he wants your money. Everyone whispering, whatever they're whispering in your ear has a motive and a reason for it. And a good amount of time, it has nothing to do with wanting your well-being. Now, again, if you're in a physically abusive relationship, a mentally abusive relationship, an emotionally abusive relationship, okay, there's plenty of good reasons to get a divorce. But she said, I had people in my ear and it's not what I wanted. I regret it. And that's the problem, is letting people whisper shit in your ear to the point where you make a life-changing, drastic decision for you and your kids. That's the problem that I have with it. And here's the thing. Again, those people, they're not going to go through with you. They're going to be there for you in the moment saying, oh, it's okay, baby girl. And as soon as they're done, they're out. They're out doing their own thing. They're out having fun. They're not dealing with the emotional, the painful, mental, the physical. They're not dealing with any of that. They're going to be gone. Now, about that aspect, what do you think about that aspect, my man?
I think it's a grave irony considering what her actual job occupation was after she divorced from Tyrese Gibson. I told you this before, and you didn't believe me. I'm going to tell you, everybody at home. You know what? You want to know what Samantha Lee is doing now as a living? After she admitted people in her ear was a big mistake, you want to know what her occupation is? Life coach. Imagine the entire irony of that. The entire irony of, yes, my mistake was having people in my ear. What do you do for a living? I'm in people's ear. You cannot make this up. You cannot make up this irony. The whole thing is a joke. It's comical.
And look, that's another thing too, that unfortunately this is a big part of social media, is that it's the blind leading the blind. That the fact that she had people in her and she made a decision that she now admits was a bad decision, she regrets it, it's not good, so on and so forth. The fact that was done, and the fact that she is now putting ideas in other people's ears because she's a life coach, goes to show you it's the blind leading the blind. Stop letting people whisper shit in your ears, because again, you may think, hey, I'm in a terrible relationship. This man doesn't appreciate me. This woman doesn't appreciate me. This relationship isn't going anywhere, so on and so forth. You may think that. Having people that agree with your every whim isn't good. I'm going to quote somebody here that, I'll be honest with you, I generally don't agree with a whole lot, but I'm going to give him due credit on this. There's a gentleman that I have disagreed with on a previous podcast, BPD. He says, look, your friends, meaning like if I have my boys, you should have friends that speak well of your spouse. And here's why. There's going to be moments where you're going to get pissed and you're going to go to your comfort, maybe my boys, maybe for her girls, to go get comfort, to go, get some help in a weak moment. And if all they're going to do is agree with your, yeah, he's terrible, yeah, she's bad, blah, 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 then yeah, you're going to get more and more and more and more into the, oh, divorce is the right idea. This is a great thing, so on and so forth. On top of that, let me add one more thing. Everybody thinks that because they get that high right off of a breakup, they're buying all the new stuff. Maybe they have a new home. Maybe they have a lot more freedom because now they don't have children on certain weeks. They can go out and have friends. Go out and enjoy life. Blah blah blah. That high goes away. I promise you that high goes away. In a lot of the divorce cases that I had, a lot of these people felt that initial high. They maybe started dating somebody new. Maybe they're going out with their friends more. Maybe they have a little bit more time to pursue hobbies, so on and so forth. But eventually, that goes away. The loneliness kicks in. You start missing that person's touch. Maybe you're dating someone, but they're not quite just like the other person was. They don't cook the same way. They don't smell the same way. They don't have that touch that you like, so on and so forth. You have to reteach this person all your habits, blah, 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 blah. It all goes away. So stop making decisions based off emotion, especially stop making decisions based off somebody whispering in your ear. Because here's the thing, the sad fact and the reality of the scenario is that they're not going to go through with you. At a certain point, you're going to be alone and by yourself and dealing with it. Anything else you want to add to that, my man?
I think that's it for me.
With that, like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and
until next time, get rest and stay blessed. We'll see you on the next one.